everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to study about the part 2 of the video, that is apexification. So in the part 1 we discussed everything about apexogenesis, like what are the procedures we do under this and everything about it. Now here we are going to talk about apexification. Moving ahead, so why do we do apexification? As I told you in apexogenesis, that apexogenesis is usually done at places where only the crown pulp or the coronal pulp is being inflamed. Okay, in that area we can go for the apexogenesis. But where do we do apexification? When whole of the pulp is being necrosed, ultimately the choice of our treatment is going to be apexification, where the root as well as the crown, both the pulp of both the areas is being inflamed or necrosed. For example, the whole of the pulp is necrosed. In that condition we go for apexification. Moving ahead, as you can see in the diagram, what actually happens in apexification is, because of the trauma to the pulp, the apex of the root gets opened, or I could say there is an opening on the root apex. The tooth apex is not closed, okay, they get opened, due to which the root canals get infected. Now what we have to do in this procedure is that we have to use certain medicament or certain medications which can help in the bone formation which is being lost. The gap which is being created between the two apex should be filled up. So certain medications are supposed to be used which can fill this gap up and can also help in controlling the bacteria and the infection in the roots. So looking to the definition, the procedure term apexification refers to the method of treatment which induces apical repair. Why do we have to do the apical repair? Because the apical is being opened now, and also a hard tissue barrier across the apex and the immature tooth. Also we use a osteoinductive filling material. What do you mean by osteoinductive? Something which is helping to form the bone. Inductive, it's like bone induction में जो medicines काम करेंगी उन्हें we are going to say medicaments which are used in apexification. Moving ahead, endodontic management of pulpless permanent tooth with a wide open blunder base has been a challenge in a dentistry always. Now what kind of base is seen? As you can see in the figure, the apex here is not closed like this, it is open. So this is to be closed, and so the pulp is reaching into this particular periapical space and creating a kind of cyst here. In further conditions it can form a cyst also. So it is important to clear out this fluid or this pulp which is being generated in this area, and for this we need certain medicaments which will not only help to control the flow of pulp to this direction but will also close this apex. So we have to close the apex and remove all this infected pulp. Now indications, usually it is given in young vital permanent teeth with or without periapical radiolucency. It is contraindicated in tooth where all the vertical tooth root fracture is there, replacement resorption is there. Very short rooted tooth, in that also it is contraindicated. Also if there is any cortical bone proliferation, then also we contraindicate this treatment. Now we have three techniques. The first technique is the calcium hydroxide procedure. Remember that this is a very long procedure. It takes a period of about 6 to 24 months. Like the patient is supposed to come to you for 1 to 2 years. So it is a long procedure, and usually it is given in 2 sittings, can even proceed patient to patient. So what do we do in the first appointment? In the first appointment, radiographically we are going to check the length of the canal. Okay, we will take a radiograph in which we can check that how long is the root canal. After that we will give anesthesia, we will place a rubber dam, and then we will clean the your canal completely. We will irrigate and clean the canal with the help of files, and every part of pulp is being removed from the canal, and the canal cavity should be completely clean, free from any kind of odor, free from any kind of infection. It should be completely clean. So for that we use a headstrong file, and after with that file we are going to clean and irrigate this whole canal. The walls of the canal are rasped with large files with copious irrigation to remove the infected dentine. So we have to first remove the pulp with the help of files, and at the same time we have to remove the infected dentine also. Then after, when you have cleaned the canal, we have to dry the canal with help of some sterile paper points, so that any moisture in the canal or in the roots is being absorbed After that, an intracanal medicament is placed, and what do we do in the first sitting is clean the canal and place a cotton here. So we, for example, have cleaned the canal, and now we are just like, this is the canal which has been cleaned, and now we have to place a cotton here on this cleaned canal. So for the next appointment, this is being sealed by a cotton. This is what we have to do in the first sitting. Clean the canal, irrigate the canal, and dry the canal completely. After that, place a cotton in it and access ZOE, closed with ZOEs. After that, coming to a second appointment, now after 1 to 2 weeks, you will be calling again your patient. Now what you will do is, again you will apply the rubber dam isolation, very very important. Now remove the cotton which you have placed 1 to 2 weeks earlier, okay? Remove that cotton. The teeth is again checked that any kind of tenderness to percussion or any kind of dryness is there or not. So we have to check that first. After that, if you find that any kind of exudate is there, again you have to irrigate the canal with sodium hypochlorite so that more physical debridement or oxygen can be liberated, because that oxygen will help in killing any kind of microbes there in the canal which can later cause problems. Ultrasonic units are also sometimes used for cleanliness of the canal, so you can also use some ultrasonic units for that. Now before the canal filling, before you fill your canal, it is very important to check certain points, okay? Before filling this canal, there are certain points to be checked. The first thing, there should be no exudate in the canal. Second thing, there should be no foul odor. If there is any foul odor, it means that the canal is still having any kind of bacteria or any kind of exudate, so you have to check that. Lack of periapical sensitivity. Periapical sensitivity is very very important and a chief feature here. If the patient is having periapical sensitivity, that means that the apex is still not closed, and if the apex is not closed, you cannot go for filling your canal. So if there is periapical sensitivity, you do not do the treatment there. You again apply the osteoinductive material, and if the periapical sensitivity is not there, then you can go for the treatment. Moving ahead, excess should be sealed with to avoid dislodgement of the dressing or contamination of the canal, which will result in failure. So any excess should be sealed so that there is no dislodgement of the dressing. The patient is recalled after 3 months. Now after the 1 to 2 weeks, you call the patient after 3 months, and now after 3 months you are going to check again, take a radiograph and check that what is the growth, is the apex being closed or not. If there are signs and symptoms of any reinfection, maybe the apex has not been closed and a reinfection has occurred. If there is any kind of indication like that, then you are going to re-clean the canal again, and again you will fill that with calcium hydroxide. So till the moment your apex is not closed and till the moment your canal is not completely free from infection, you will again and again do this treatment in every sitting, okay? It's not that you just first time applied calcium hydroxide and the apex is not closed and you said, okay, we did it once and now we can go for filling. No. Till the time your apex, which was opened from bottom, is not closed, you cannot go for filling your canal. And also your canal should be free from any kind of infection. Then only you can proceed further. Now after around, as I told you, it's a very very long treatment. So after like around 6 to 24 months, the tooth is re-entered and a clinical verification is made. Now how do you make a clinical verification? Clinical verification here means that your tooth is completely, now apex is completely sealed and completely healed. You can further go for a treatment. This verification is made. How? A very small instrument is taken and it is penetrated through the apex. If it after the removal of every calcium hydroxide, so if it penetrates, that means that still there is healing which has to take place and apex is still open. But if the file or any small instrument which you have taken is not able to penetrate further, it means that the apex is now closed, and then you can go for a treatment further. This is a clinical verification which you have to check. Clinically you have to verify that situation. So first what you are going to do is, after around 6 months, when you have called your patient, you will remove the calcium hydroxide from the site, and then you are going to use a small instrument and you will try to penetrate it through the apex. If it is not able to penetrate, which means that the apex is now sealed and you can go further with the treatment. Now what after 6 months you call the patient, took the radiographic examination, and now you feel that everything is closed. The apex has closed without any change in the canal space, which means that now the apex is closed and there is no infection in the canal space. Then you can continue further with your treatment. Now what you are going to do is that if any condition of infection is seen, then again you have to go for the whole process. Remember the time, for example, your apex is formed but you have seen canal infection in the canal, then again you have to irrigate the canal and you have to clean any kind of infection which is there. So both the conditions should be satisfied. Apex should be closed and canal should be completely free from any kind of infection. Then only you can go with the treatment. Now after you see that the canal is also clean and your apex is also formed, at that time you can further move on with the treatment. Now what you are going to do is the tooth restored, especially canal is restored with gutta percha. This is a material, I hope every one of you know till now, that this is a material gutta percha which is used in usually RCTs and stuff, where you are filling the canals with this gutta percha. Okay, so this is what you have to do. The tooth is restored with gutta percha after the apical closure. After the apical closure has taken place, you can fill the canal with gutta percha and obtain, but the presence of thin dentinal walls result in high percentage of tooth fractures. So till now what we have studied is, if we see in short what all we have studied is that the first thing we did in the first appointment was we took a radiograph and then we cleaned the canal. Any pulp chamber or any infected pulp or dentine was removed. We cleaned the canal and we applied a medicament so that the apex closure procedure can start. Then the next time, after 1 to 2 weeks, the patient came. We saw the cotton was removed, which was applied in this stage. This cotton was removed after 1 to 2 weeks when the patient came, and you saw that the canal is still having infection and the apex is not closed. Again, you will apply calcium hydroxide and you will recall the patient after 3 to 4 months. You will do this procedure till the apex is not closed, until the canal is not free from any kind of infection. After you have got this stage, you are going to do the final restoration, in which you will use gutta percha to fill the root canal or to restore the tooth. Now this is only to be done after the apical closure is taken place. Okay, and in this case, or in this technique, in this two sitting technique, there is a high risk of root fracture. So this you have to remember, that the whole appointment which we studied till now, this calcium hydroxide technique is very commonly used, but it has got a high risk of tooth fracture. High risk of fractures are there in this particular case. So this you have to keep in mind, and also it is a very time consuming procedure. Your patient gets irritated. Sometimes they leave the procedure in between only because they don't want to come continuously the whole 2 years to you. Okay, so this is a very time consuming treatment. After this, you can see in the figure, this was the condition of the tooth. This was the first radiograph we took, where the apex was completely open. You can see it here that the apex is completely open in these cases. Okay, and in the second thing, what we did was we cleaned the canal completely. We removed any pulp from this canal and we applied some medicaments so that the healing of the apex or the closure of the apex can begin. And after the closure of the apex was done, the apex was finally closed. In this figure, in the third figure, in the final restoration, we filled this canal with gutta percha. Now, as I told you, this technique was a very time consuming technique. Now we have got some newer techniques which makes it very easy for us to do apexification just in a single sitting. How? This is the apical barrier technique. Now this is a single sitting technique. The patient is not supposed to come to you again and again. In just one sitting you can do everything. And this technique is the apical barrier technique. What do you do in this technique? You allow obstruction of the canal immediately, not after a very long period of time, and material like MTA is used in this technique. Also, this is a very less time consuming technique, and the tooth fracture incidence in this is very less. So this one is favored, the apical barrier technique. Other than that, the very last and the very famous one is the revascularization technique. What do we do in this technique is that this is your, for example, this is your root and this is your canal. So what we have to do, what do we do in this technique is we just induce bleeding in this canal. Okay, with the help of a sharp instrument we may impulse and create bleeding in this canal, and what we want is that bleeding should form a clot here, because when a clot will be formed, this will help in this clot will actually help in the growth of the new tissue in the pulse space. So this is the reason we want a blood clot to be created here, and so we induce bleeding. So it is a technique that the canal is disinfected with copious irrigation. So first, obviously you are going to disinfect your canal from any kind of infection, and you can use either a 3 combination antibiotics for this procedure. After the disinfection is being done, we induce blood clot bleeding into the canal, which will produce a blood clot at the cemento-enamel junction. So at the cemento-enamel junction, a blood clot will be formed, and this blood clot will act as a matrix for the growth of new tissue in the pulse space. So this will help in kind of joining the apex back. Okay, this is what we want. We want to seal the apex, and this blood clot will induce this whole formula. So the result of this technique was successful with thickening of the walls of the root and in a conventional manner. So we got a positive result from this also. So what we did was we used a very sharp instrument and induced bleeding in the canal. This bleeding formed a blood clot, and this blood clot helped in the growth of new tissue in the pulse space. Pulse space is the space inside your canal. Okay, this is your pulse space where the pulp was earlier there. Now when the new tissue is being formed, then we can see that the apex is being closed, and then we can further go with the whole function. Now another thing here is that, for example, this is the first technique in the revascularization technique. This is the first thing you can do, that you can induce bleeding. Other than that, you can also do one thing, that you can take venous blood of the patient. Okay, for example, the patient is not happy or not ready for this kind of treatment. What you can do is you can take an amount of blood from the veins of the patient, like you do at the time of giving blood samples, and that blood can be filled into the centrifugal machine. There you can just centrifuge that machine, form a blood clot, and that blood clot can be placed in the canal, which will be very, very helpful. So this is the whole procedure of the revascularization technique. So you can see in this picture also here that we have initiated bleeding in the canal with a probing material, and the blood will flow into the canal. After 15 minutes, a clot is being formed. You see, bleeding was induced and this clot was formed, and this clot has kind of sealed the apex. So this can also be done, and this is very frequently done. So these are some newer techniques, and the one which we studied earlier, that was your calcium hydroxide technique, was a old technique, or you can say a very time consuming technique. So this was all about apexification. In apexification, our major goal is to close the apex so that the canal can be filled again with any medicament. So this was all about the topic. If this video was useful to you, please subscribe to my channel, share this with your friends, and also like the video. Thank you so much.